Okay, Brett, so I've cooked up something for you in regards to a artificial intelligent assistant that's able to communicate tool need products, specifically the magic drill, the Kyocera magic drill, through email and or text if you need some quick answers. We typically for knowledge bases like to use email because you're essentially sending a colleague an email. Hey, I have a question about this product. It'll respond within 30 seconds to a minute and a half with a pretty comprehensive and detailed answer. So we call those knowledge base virtual assistants. On the flip side, if you were to have an assistant actually go out and speak to customers in your database or you had a lead list, then we would be referring to a customer database reactivation or activation. So for you guys, because you already have knowledge base available on the website, resources for those who need information about the specifics and dimensions, metrics, technical aspects of the tools. We want to be able to provide answers in a way that's not only intelligent, but also accurate and in short time to boost efficiency for those inquiries coming in for those products. So we'll take a look at the conversation, how it started. Typically, when someone goes into the website, puts their name in that little form in the bottom right you saw, the AI can text them right away. Alternatively, if someone were to just email the address of the bot, they get created in the system, and that would start the conversation. And then to continue the conversation with the bot through email, you literally just reply to any email that it sent you through that address. And we can see the first message I actually named the AI after you, as you're the head of sales there. So it could be anything. We typically name them, Amanda, Michelle. We see a lot of higher responses for more feminine names, female assistants in general, which is expected. We got AI influencers on Instagram. But for this demonstration, you could essentially name the AI after yourself, acting as the liaison towards details on the products. Hi, Alex. Thanks for reaching out to the team. I can answer any questions you have. Just reply to any email or text for me. Get back to you ASAP. Brett Tool Needs. So, so first thing I'm going to ask is, hi, Brett. I'm interested in that magic drill you guys have. Can you tell me about it? Now, personally don't know much about the application of the drill, or why it would be used, but I can tell you the AI does. And what I'm noticing a lot is that, and especially getting into new environments where new industries, niches, the requirements for specialized knowledge and technical specification, and to be able to share that quickly, that's becoming like increasingly apparent to me in one of the ways that AI is definitely going to take the reins for communication. So we sent that email out. Typically takes about 45 seconds to a minute to respond on the. Sometimes a little faster, sometimes slower, just depends on emails. But as you can expect, an answer back from your customer service team for a question like this. I'm not sure how fast you guys are able to respond to inquiries, but getting something back in a minute or two for something as specific as those specifications is generally well received. Looks like Brett's got an answer for me. Hi there. I'm glad to hear you're interested in the Kyocera DRV Magic Drill. This drill is known for its excellent drilling precision with less variation in cutting diameter. It's a unique instrument design that controls trip flow, making it ideal for various drilling scenarios. The Magic Drill's web thickness 33% larger than competitors, which contributes to improved stability and reduced vibration during drilling operations. So this thing's getting into the weeds of it. You can see giving an overview of the drill, literally taken from that documentation that I trained it on. It was just a drill to start with, because it does take time for training. I just want to get a demo out to you. But the thing that the bot can also do is provide links. So say someone wanted to see what the documentation looked like, they can easily just click on the link provided, and it'll pop them out right to the DRV Magic Drill page here. And so we've trained the bot on information within this document, but at the same time, the bot can literally just provide the document link so people can look at it. Now, I have a question about the drill, and I'm going to ask just based on the previous information that I gave it just to see if it's accurate. Let's take a look, see. I'm going to ask the drill. Oh, there was one I was asking it. What are the ideal cutting conditions? What are the ideal cutting conditions for the drill? And I mean, this is a question where if someone knew the specifications and the metrics off the top of their head for the ideal cutting conditions for the drill, you might as well train the AI based off what that person knows. But we're going to just take a look at how the assistant interprets that question and see what sort of answers it provides. In the meantime, I'm going to see if I can queue up the next question while we wait for that to process. And again, typically these responses, like I see them on my text messages um, coming through the Mac before I see it through the email. But generally a minute, 2 minute response. I'd say 2 minutes is a little slow, but compared to humans, it's very, very quick. Still waiting for him to process. Brett, that's you. And what was I going to ask? Okay, so we got an answer back. Brett is saying the ideal cutting conditions for the Kyocera DRV magic drill depend on the material being drilled, specific drill size, and insert grade being used. However, it compares to general guidelines for 2D, 3D drills with coolant. The feed rates range from small numbers to small numbers, depending on the material insert grade. The cutting speeds vary by material and categorized under PVD coded. So here's where we're getting into those technicals that I personally believe if you had an AI assistant trained on all of these things, you wouldn't really need to rely on going into documentation, looking around for that stuff. And even the documentation, I looked at it, not fully trained on the entire document because it didn't have time, but for what it did train it on, it's pretty good. Specific material plan to work with. What materials? Let me see. What materials would be good to use with this drill? Because I have no idea. And I've also trained the AI assistant to sort of ask questions in regards to what it is that you're trying to do. One question per response. You can have it ask a few questions in response, but generally we're just trying to make it conversational so it can push the user down the pathway of conversation that's most beneficial to the user. Generally, that sometimes users don't even know what it is that they want, and so the AI sort of nudges them in the right direction. But you can train the AI to have specific qualification questions for specific products. Are you working with the Kyocera Magic Grill? Yes. What is it exactly you're doing with it? A, B, C, D, and then you can make a determination on the best response based on the answers to those questions. Oh, we got an answer back quickly. Brett, you're working hard today. The Kyocera DRV Magic Drill is versatile and can be used with a variety of different materials. The drill's performance can be optimized by selecting the appropriate chip breaker type based on the material being machined. Here's a brief overview. GM chip breaker, general purpose, optimized for a wide range of materials, offering a balance between chip control and cutting forces. And then they've gone through 4 different chip breaker options here. So that's just to give you a very light idea on the capability of what an AI assistant looks like when properly trained. I mean, this is extremely light training. I mean, I think the training was maybe, I don't know, 8 to 10 pages. We've got bots trained 30, 40, 50, 60 pages, 100 pages, and they all work very well. So you can have I wouldn't say as much, but there is a point to which the processing speed may get compromised if you have too much data, but generally the AI is so powerful. It's quite like we have one bot that quite literally reads a novel prior to making responses. So the capabilities are what look to be limitless. So we have enough processing power to handle the queries right now. Yes, I'm sure NVIDIA is working on more chips for everyone in the world, but I just wanted to make sure you saw what that looked like. And again, links they can port out easily to the content on the website or even other websites that have specifications for products. If you wanted to make a bot that had just links to product pages and product spec sheets, you can do that. but empowering them with the actual specifications and metrics makes them a lot more useful. So I just wanted to put that together for you quickly there, Brett, just to give you an idea on what it is, the types of bots that we're using. If you're seeing this on YouTube, feel free to reach out to our team. We're building knowledge-based bots, customer service bots, as well as sales agents that are able to qualify customers. This stuff is what's becoming the frontier, or the top of funnel for communications for sales teams, because a lot of this stuff is very mundane inquiry that people are just too lazy to go onto a website and find themselves. They'd rather just get a quick answer right now, and that's very easy to do through email, through text. Like, I'm getting massive texts on my Mac right now about the same thing. So if you had a bot trained on the products, and your team needed to get questions answered quickly, they can easily just text the bot. But thanks a lot, Brett. I'm gonna make sure this is loaded up on YouTube, and then I'll share it with you. And then looking forward to continuing the conversation. Bye now.